All right. Says I'm live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know. We will get this started. I'll pop the chat out, and I'll just wait for the go-ahead here. But I'm looking forward to today's race. So glad it's not like last week where we just had so many chalk options in the back. Makes for the builds to be at least a little bit more interesting this week. Yes, I know we have Tyler Reddick in the back, and I guess Ryan Preece. But outside of that, it should be a pretty fun slate. Definitely looking forward to it. But good morning, everyone. So there's about 100 people waiting. I'm glad you are all spending your Sunday morning with me. I do appreciate that. We can hear me? All right, awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good race today. I'm glad we have practice. Last week we kind of went into the dark not knowing exactly who's going to bring a lot of speed. I do think we see some overlap for that this weekend, but we had practice. We shook down the cars. So hopefully no electrical issues for a guy like Kyle Larson in the first 10 laps of the race. Chase Briscoe was driving a lawnmower to start. Just a little brutal there, but I'm looking forward to Las Vegas. What's up, Rick? First guy here. It's NASCAR time in your DK contest with a winning lineup. Let's get this started. P.S. Let's go Chastain. Yeah, I'm with you on Chastain today. Like him quite a bit. I mean, killed both Vegas races last year. Was really fast last week. And had a decent car in practice. Definitely didn't look as good as guys like Blaney, Larson, Byron, Logano. But, I mean, he was one of the best cars in the second group. And, I mean, Ross is Ross. He'll probably get up front at some point at an intermediate track. What's up, Clint? Happy race day, everyone. Let's go Harvick. Yeah, I'm with you on Harvick today. We're strong in practice, and I mean, just a top 10 machine. I like him quite a bit, and DraftKings just keeps pricing him a little bit too low, in my opinion. I think he should be closer to the, or at least maybe be in the 9K range, and I think he's definitely at a decent value today at his price point. And yeah, we have some different wrenches today. We got, C. Austin and Tito, because my other wrenches, I guess, skip work today, so had to call in the reserves, but I do appreciate them helping me out. What's up, Joe? Huge Bowen and Byron fan here. Yeah, I like them today too for DFS purposes. I mean, Byron was had a lot of speed in practice. Actually had the best 5 and 10 lap averages in the first practice session as well. And then Bowman, he did win this race last year. Wasn't as strong in practice, but I do think Hendrick's going to carry some speed overall. Rick says CPs to go to NASCAR. I appreciate that, Rick. Appreciate that. Oh, so if you're just now getting here, let's leave a like on the stream. It does help me out quite a bit. What's up, Ryan? We're back at it in Vegas. What's up? What's up, Ryan? Looking forward to it. Do you enjoy the Vegas race? Love the city of Las Vegas as well. I mean, probably my favorite place in the United States for sure. Ryan says, who are the must-have core cash plays? I'm thinking Larson is in there. I'm not going to say Larson's a must-have cash play. I love Larson today. I mean, I do think he's got a very good chance of being the highest scorer. I think he's got the car to beat. But I think in cash, like the must-haves, obviously Tyler Reddick starting in the very back. You're going to want him. You're going to want Harrison Burton as well starting in the back. Then I think Daniel Suarez can kind of creep in there as being a really good cash play today, starting in 24th at his price point. I think the Trackhouse cars will always bring speed at intermediates. Joe says you'll definitely hit the casino up. Are you there, Joe? Are you there? If so, have fun. Last Cowboy says, got to be at a track and have qualifying lineup where I'm reading it from the top instead of the bottom. I know. I hate, like, yeah, it's fun having all those big names in the back, but well, it kind of sucks they almost all busted last week. We had like the big one in Auto Club, and just a couple other guys had issues, and Byron with the penalty. But I like having a normal order. I guess I know we have Tyler Reddick back there kind of ruining it. I wish he wasn't. But besides that, I mean, most of the big names are starting within the top 20, top 15. So that's the kind of builds I like, because it doesn't make it where everything's focused on one thing. And it really all just came down to last week. If those guys don't wreck, they're optimal. If they do, well, you're going to have leverage, and those are kind of annoying weeks. Joe says cash plays Reddick and Burton for sure. Yeah, those are probably the two guys you're plugging in first. I mean, Reddick, we didn't see what he had in practice. Toyota overall wasn't that fast. I don't think they're going to be as slow as they were during practice, but you know, he got no laps down, which is a little concerning. But if Reddick finishes around 15th to 20th, which I believe I had him around 15th, 16th in projections, I mean, it's not a bad day. I don't have him as the highest predicted scorer today, but I have him around 49.5 points, which for being an AK driver, I mean, it's not bad at all. Concha says, vroom, vroom, yeah. It's a vroom, vroom kind of day. Appreciate the goat, Gary. Concha says, like button, yeah. If you're just getting here, leaving a like on the stream. It does help me out quite a bit. Joe says he likes Burton. AL says Sunday fun day, y'all. Yeah, you know it. Should be a fun one. we had our first real NASCAR like race weekend where we had practice qualifying. So hopefully that sets us up well. We know the cars that have speed, just a matter of that translating to the race. Clint says, hit the like button on your way in. You know it. You know it. PJ says, hey, I was up late watching the UFC and I'm still here. Where are you? I'm always a little bit late, you know. Always got to be fashionably late. EH Rico said, let's have ourselves a race day, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, I do like this slate, the way it pans out. I've not yet built my lineups. I'm going to do that afterwards, but I do like the way this slate is. I mean, I'm going to be probably of the 10K drivers, I'll be most overweight on Larson and Chastain because they offer a little bit of PD. Not like a ton, but you know, Larson's in 6th. He could potentially gain 5 spots. Chastain in 8th. And I mean, just I love them at intermediates tracks. Larson looks like he's got the best car this weekend. Ross Chastain was not as fast in practice, but I just love him at intermediates, and he killed Vegas last year. And I'm not really sure what's going to change too much heading to this weekend. And plus, he was so good last week. His pit crew is amazing. So I mean, all signs point to Larson, Chastain, those kind of guys doing well today. And obviously, don't forget about Kyle Busch. Don't forget about Logano on the pole. But those are my 2 favorite in the 10K range. Concha says, Logano, Truex, Larson, does it fit? Yeah, I can fit since Truex is a little bit cheaper, but I guess I have to see how the rest of my lineup looks. But if I can pull up the optimizer here, I can try locking those guys in and see what it looks like. So let's see, we got Larson, Logano, Truex. We locked those guys in. I mean, I'm sure it'll fit. Yeah. So first time that pops up if I lock those 3 in, we have Larson, Logano, Truex, then Priest, Amaral, and Burton. It's not entirely ugly. It's only 1 driver in the 5K range, but yeah, I mean, it's all right. I have anything against it. Got a dono from a man, Tito. Awesome. I do appreciate the $50 dono, Tito. That's awesome. You know, you hit me up with that last week, so truly do appreciate that. Says, good morning, brother. Let's go Truex. You love Truex. You sure do. Hope you do well today. I'm not sure how much Truex I'm going to have. I mean, I know practice wasn't super impressive for the Toyotas, but I think they'll be a little bit faster. It's just a matter of being able to dominate over the likes of guys like Logano, Byron, Blaney, etc. So we'll see how that goes. But I do appreciate the dono and enjoy your day of being the wrench. Hey, good morning, C. Mitch. Good morning. Good luck to you as well, Carmi. Kyle says, go. Back at you, Kyle. Back at you. Obi says, happy fun day, fellas. It's always a fun day on Sunday. Top 2 tourney plays. Let me check my sims here, just ownership. I do like Harvick a lot in tournaments, but I also think the ownership's going to be kind of high. But I love Harvick. I like Bowman. I like Bubba Wallace in tournaments. I'm not sure how many people are going to be on Bubba, but I do think he's a pretty decent play. You know, I think Las Vegas does translate well to Kansas, and we know he had a really good car at Kansas. And I mean, he was decent in practice, one of the best cars in the second group. So I think Bubba's actually a pretty solid tournament play because we know Tyler Reddick's going to get a ton of ownership in there. Then a little bit lower, you have guys like Austin Dillon and Daniel Suarez who offer place differential upside. So I do like the pivot to Bubba in GPPs. Also like Eric Almirola starting in 21st, 6,400. He was fast in practice, did well in the spring race last year. And then for like the big dogs of Kyle Busch and Logano, we're going to bring in the most ownership. I like pivoting to Larson, Chastain, those kind of guys. And also like Chris Buescher in tournaments. I know I just rattled off like 6 guys, but oh well. Let's get it, says Chris. Let's do it, Chris. Let's do it. I like your name as well. Appreciate you too, Tim. Thank you for being here. Nothing much, Obi. We're just chilling. Just chilling. Doing my favorite thing on race days. Just hanging out with you guys and answering questions, and you know how it is. What's up, Tony? What drivers should we be overweight and underweight on? Good luck, everyone. No Reddit crash today. Yeah, hopefully no Reddit crash today. That sucked last week. He looked fine at first. I just saw him sitting in the grass. I'm like, all right, it'll just peel out. No, his car was done. That was brutal. And then William Byron gets the penalty at the end. Kyle Larson had the electrical issue. Chase Briscoe has a lawnmower. I can go on and on about last week. It wasn't fun. The only thing I got right last week about like was Kyle Busch, and that was about it. Chase Elliott did well too, but annoying week last week, that's for sure. then didn't Priest wreck as well? I'll just stop. I don't want to remember last week. But what was your question? Oh, who should I be most overweight and underweight on? So I like being overweight on, let me check my leverage scores. So I like being overweight on like Almirola, Ross Chastain today, Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, Bubba Wallace. There's other drivers, but William Byron's also popping up as positive leverage. I'm not sure how many people are going to play Byron. I like the price point a lot. I'm not sure people are going to want to play Byron with Joey Logano because I think Logano is going to be much higher owned because he's on the pole. He's great at Vegas. I get it. But, I mean, there's a chance Byron could get the lead early on, and he's pretty cheap at $9,100, and he had the best 5-10 lap averages in practice. And as far as being underweight on, like, I'm not trying to say Kyle Busch is a bad play today. I'm going to have Kyle Busch. But as far as where his ownership is and what his optimal rate is on my Sims, he's showing us some pretty good negative leverage there to be underweight on. Like, again, I don't hate Kyle Busch. I will be playing some Kyle Busch. But just ownership-wise, I think it might be a bit too high just from what we saw last week. I mean, I feel like Larson's a very similar play, if not a better play than Kyle Busch today. It's somewhat lower ownership. You have Ross Chastain there. And they're both faster in practice, too. I don't want to overreact too much to practice. Kyle Busch is not going to be a fringe top 30 car or anything. He's great at Vegas. But the cars did look a little bit better in practice. RCR in general just wasn't that fast. I'm sure they'll figure it out, but still. What's up, Cody? Rico says, what's up, Chris? Feeling good about Bowman? I like Bowman today. I do. Starting at 11, he's kind of in that weird spot. Because if you look at the AK range, you have massive chalk Tyler Reddick. You're going to have decently chalky Kevin Harvick. Then you have Austin Dillon starting in the back. I'm not sure how many people are actually going to play Josh Berry. Like, we got to keep in mind he has like no experience in this car. Yes, I know he's in Chase Elliott's car. It should be fast, but Josh Berry is not Chase Elliott. So, yeah, I don't mind that. Bowman and Wallace, I think, are some of the better tournament plays on the slate. Aaron says, chalky today, too. I'm here walking the dog, 24 and sunny here in Minnesota. Whew. Definitely pretty chilly. DK, who's up on top, Chastain over Kyle Busch, Logano, and Larson. It's not as chalky as last week. Last week was just a chalk fest. I mean, yes, Reddick in the back, he's going to be chalky. But besides that, you can do kind of whatever else you want with your lineup. And obviously Burton as well. But up top, if I had to rank these guys, I'm probably having Larson at 1, Chastain at 2. And then it's kind of a coin flip between Kyle Busch and Logano. If I'm playing cash, I'm probably playing Logano just because I think he's most likely to lead laps early on. He's also got my highest Dominator score. But at the same time, he's got some really fast cars right behind him. And William Byron, I think, and Ryan Blaney right there as well, can certainly make some noise. You have Kyle Busch in the top 5, Ross Chastain, there's a lot of good cars there. So it's not like he's just by himself. So that's the only concern. But he's really good at Vegas. But my 1-2 up top is going to be Larson and Chastain. And you get a couple extra PD spots with them as well. Sniper Kenny says Cody Ware season. I mean, Cody Ware's been a better player than Tyler Reddick just about every single week this year, so. Craig says, do you have ownership projections or a good site to use? Yeah, I have ownership projections on my, I guess, website, whatever it is, on my NASCAR model, on the Patreon. So if you want access to those, I do post the ownership on there, and they're also uploaded in the optimizer as well. So, and ownership's always super important with NASCAR, I mean. Grady Flick says, yo, Chris, happy race day, my man. Happy race day to you as well, great day. Hoping for the best of luck in FanDuel 20 max today. Talking about the $3, I'm in that too. That contest used to be a 150 max, and it's just not been. I'm going to have to email them and plead for it to be 150 max again. But I'm also in there, so hopefully we'll see you at the top. But I like FanDuel's really fun to build today. I actually kind of like FanDuel better than DK. I think the builds are fun over there. Like, I think my highest projected lineup on FanDuel today is Ross, Blaney, Byron, Reddick, and Suarez. You can play all 5 of those guys. And you don't need a scrub or anything. Like, you can build some fun lineups over there. Strike 1 sniper. Ryan says, who do you think the top 3 in ownership will be? What I have, I won't give you the exact numbers, but what I have highest ownership plays right now, I have Reddick up top, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano as the 2 highest owned DOMs. That's what I got now. We could be give or take. I wouldn't be surprised if Suarez was up in the top 3 or Harrison Burton or Harvick. But I mean, obviously Reddick's going to be number 1. You would think. Chris says, Chris Buescher is a nice sleeper. I like Chris Buescher today. I mentioned him in the stochastic video, but practice was pretty strong for Buescher. 4th in the 1 lap, then 8th and 2nd, which barely anyone ran the 15 laps. I don't want to reference that, but I think Buescher's a fine play. I mean, RFK was solid last week, so I don't mind that starting in 18th. I'd rather play him over Stenhouse than Ty Gibbs and Austin Cindric. Oh, Conscious says, I was early today, Chris. Awesome, Conscious. We're usually late, so I'm glad you could make it. Thanks for the knowledge info. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Pugsley says, what's up, everyone? What's up, Pugsley? Were you the person that said they had a test for the police thing? If so, I think. If so, I hope that went well. If I'm wrong, just ignore me. Jake says, Ty Gibbs looks like he has a good shot at the win today. I don't know if I'd say win. I think he'll fade back. In the Sims, I gave him for reference, my highest win percentage today is, believe Larson and Logano at 12.8%. I got Gibbs at 1%, which the implied odds in Vegas, I believe, are sitting at 6.3%. So I'm way below on that. We'll see if he surprises me though, but I'm not playing him in DFS. Like, I'd much rather just play Buescher or Amarola. Anthony says, last time Chris loved Larson, I saw him trickling down pit road. That is true. That is true. Keep in mind though, when he got back on the track, he was one of the fastest cars late in the race. So I think if that never happened, he would have had a pretty solid day, but yeah, that's just speculation, I guess. It was unfortunate. I was like, is Larson short pitting this at Auto Club? And then I seen him go behind the wall, and I was like, oh, that's fun. What's up, Timothy? Old man is in the house. What's up? Pugsley says Leclerc. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know F1. I'm sorry. Just dropped out of F1. I no longer care about that race. Oh boy. I did a prize picks on F1. My friend sent me something to look. I don't even know how to know what I'm doing in F1. I took an over on George Russell and a over on magnesium. I don't really know what it is. So I don't know. I have no ideas if those are hitting or not. Guess we'll see after the race, but it looks like there's 8 laps left. No idea if those are hitting or what the score needs to be to hit, so I don't know. Dwayne says, Chris, for DraftKings GPPs is Gregson, Hamlin, Suarez, Reddick, Logano, Allmendinger. I mean, yeah, if you're looking for low ownership, that should be pretty low owned. I don't think anyone's really going to play Gregson. I think I have him for sub 10% ownership. Hamlin, I mean, I don't think Hamlin's a bad play today. Actually, a decent tournament play today. For $9,900, it's not a bad price on Hamlin at Las Vegas. So don't mind that. Suarez will be chalky, Reddick will be chalky, Logano will be chalky, but Allmendinger won't be. So you have like a nice mix of low owned and chalk plays, which is fine for tournaments. I'm glad I read the message first from C. Austin there. Reddick for GPP. I mean, yeah, he's a good play today, but just know he's going to be really high owned. And there's good pivots there. So if you already have a lot of chalky plays in your lineup, I would probably exclude Reddick and maybe try like a Harvick or a Bowman. But if you're just kind of normal, throwing in Reddick is fine. I mean, I hate to say if he doesn't wreck, he'll probably be optimal, which I'm not sure how fast that car is going to be today. But if he's around the top 15, we're talking close to 50 points, which, I mean, that's pretty good for being sub 9K. Unless a guy like Harvick can dominate or Byron right around him. That's another thing too. If you already have enough PD plays, and instead of throwing on Reddick, you could throw in Byron. That's another way to go about it. Pugsley says, and with Larson, Byron, Harvick, Bowman, Buescher, and Burton for tournament builds, what do we think? I feel like I have no PD upside, but also like going against the chalk this week. No, that's fine. I mean, Buescher's in 18th, Burton's in 35th, Harvick's in 14th, Byron's up front, Larson's up front, but that's a fine intermediate track build. for a week that we don't have a ton of PD plays in the back, so that's fine. Zach says, I think Brad Keselowski is going to get stronger as the race goes on and possibly be there at the end. I hope not, Zach. I hope not. I took his unders today on Prize Picks, and I took his under on Underdog. I think Underdog had him at 10.5, so you're just betting on Keselowski not getting a top 10 finish, which I believe is plus odds in the first place, so I felt pretty good about that. And actually, Underdog had some pretty bad lines last night. So I'm looking at him now, and it looks like I got positive line movement just about everywhere. So I got Bowman lower than 13.5, which lower does not mean worse. It means finishing better. So he's at 13.5. He's now at 11.5. So I feel good about that. I got the higher on Cindric, so finishing worse. Then 10.5, he's now at 11.5. Keselowski at 10 still is the same. I got Larson under 5.5. So finishing in the top 5, and he's now at 5. So we got positive line movement over there. Yeah, I wish Underdog offered more props though. They just have finishing position. I wish a little bit more. That's fine. Eric says Blaney and Chastain day. Wouldn't surprise me. Blaney is very fast. Looking at practice, he was, I believe, 3rd, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 1st for Blaney. And it's only $9,700. He's cheap on both sides. So I do like Blaney today a lot in tournaments. Kelsey says, I apologize if this is a silly question to ask. It's okay. I get a lot of silly questions, but this isn't silly. But what determines what two Dominators you group together? I wouldn't say there's really anything that would make it where you have to group certain Dominators together. Like, you could play Larson and Logano together. That's fine. You can play Byron and... Honestly, you can play Byron and Logano together. I mean, it's not the most usual route people go, but there's really nothing that would make me not want to roster a certain Dominator without another one, or either way. Hopefully I didn't make that sound too hard, but I don't really have anything against rostering certain drivers with each other. Sam says, for tourneys, Chastain, Byron, Burton, Harvick, Bowman, and Suarez. That's fine. I mean, it's pretty chalky, but then you also have guys like Bowman and Byron there. So, yeah, I think that's fine, Sam. Looks pretty good. Gary says, Daniel Suarez has been fast since last year. I always like playing Suarez when he starts back in the pack. Yeah, I'm with you. I do like Daniel Suarez today. I know practice wasn't super strong, and obviously qualifying wasn't either, but, I mean, he should be a top 15 contender today. So, yeah, I like Suarez. Ryan says, this is the track where Ross used Kyle Busch as a ramp last year and wrecked out? I don't believe so. Both Ross and Kyle Busch were extremely fast and did very well at the 2 Las Vegas races last year. So I know what you're talking about, though. I don't remember what race that was. I don't know why Darlington pops in my head, but I'm not sure. Nick says, Rediker, Bowman, FanDuel, GPP. Okay, projection-wise, it's Reddick. But if you're looking for the lower ownership, I think a pivot to Bowman's not bad at all, especially because place differential is not as important over on FanDuel. So I wouldn't mind a pivot to Bowman. But I will say right now, I am playing Reddick in my single entry GPP lineup in FanDuel. Haley or Burton, I'd just play Burton there. I mean, both guys have pretty similar upside. And, well, I mean, I think Haley finishes a little bit higher than Burton, but Burton's starting about 10 spots further back. I mean, I'll just take that. They're both similar in practice. Haley was 16th in the 5-lap. Burton was 14th. I know he's going to a backup car, but yeah, I mean, I'll take Burton there. Got Miss Juliana here. It's a shame we didn't go to this race. Could have been a Vegas vacay. I wish. I mean, we got a couple friends in Vegas right now. Sean's there. He's usually in here. And Andrew's there and all of them. So, yeah, we should have went. It would have been fun. We could have watched the fights with Andrew. And we could have went to the race as well. It would have been fun. Hockey says, good luck, all. What's up, Hockey? Kalel says, who's your 2 favorites to win? I believe in the projections, just for who I got winning, would be... I got Larson at 5.6 and Logano at 5.65 as the two highest finishers today. Appreciate the plug there, Tito. Yeah, we got to fill the DraftKings contest up. I always forget to plug that, but if you guys want to join that, hit the link. Hockey Freak Sean says, top 2 chalk plays under $7,900. Suarez would be the first guy there, and then probably Ryan Preece be the 2 chalkiest drivers below $7,900. Rick says, I think Josh Berry and Austin Dillon could be sneaky cash plays. See, I don't want to be sneaky in cash. I'd rather be sneaky in tournament. Being sneaky in cash usually is not the best way to go about it, because there's no need to be sneaky in cash. I mean, finishing first compared to 200th, it just does you no good, and there's just more risk to it. Anthony says, can you explain what you mean when you say pivoting? Yes, that's a good question. So, like, for example, today, Logano is going to be really chalky. He's on the pole. You can pivot, which means like a similar play to a William Byron starting right beside him, getting away from the chalk, so you're pivoting away from that. Adam says, oh, okay. I guess he just answered it for me. Thea says, 229 watching, only 79 likes. Click that big boy real quick. Yeah, if you do me a favor, leave a like on the stream. This help me out, goes a long way. Aaron says, Byron will be higher owned than projections today. Stevie likes him a lot. I guess potentially. I do like Byron as well. I mean, $9,100 is too cheap. And my projections, I mean, they love him. They have him as the, let me check the leverage score. So as of right now, I have William Byron as the second best leverage play on the slate. I mean, I guess if Stevie likes him a lot, though, maybe I should bump him up a little bit in ownership. But even then, like, optimal rate, I have Byron over like a near 30% optimal rate, which it seems high, but I mean, his price, intermediate tracks have been good to him. It's just a matter of putting together a full race for Byron, but he's got a really fast car. Cameron says, better to grab 3 $9,700 guys plus, or grab 2 downers and attack the mid-range. We'll say I don't mind taking a shot on both Burton and Haley in the same line. It all comes down to personal preference. I think you can go either way. I mean, a lot of my lineups will have at least 2 of the guys 9K plus, although I think a lot of them will probably have 2 drivers in the 10K range, like Larson Chastain, Logano Chastain. But then again, at the same time, Byron, Hamlin, Byron, I mean, it's just personal preference. I wouldn't say there's a set way you have to go. Antonio says, who are your 6 drivers for this week and season long when you can choose drivers 10 times a season, points for win? Sounds like something we do for the NASCAR league. I mean, 6 drivers, I don't know. It seems like a bit much. I would, I guess, probably play Larson, Chastain, if I can pick any 6 drivers. Logano, Busch, Byron. I mean, just the big names, really. I mean, this is one of those tracks where I don't think I really want to take too many scrubs or mid-range guys. Maybe if you want to throw in Harvick or Bowman, you could do that. Everyone Stunna says Bubba-licious. SS Jackson says, hey CP, do you like Byron and Cash over Logano because he's cheaper, or Byron more of a GPP play? Thanks for the live stream. No problem, SS. He's probably more of a tournament play for me. Just because, I mean, Logano was in the best spot to dominate early on. I know he wasn't as fast as Byron in practice, but you know, he gets to handle the restart for the race, or start of the race, I guess. And then he's obviously great at Vegas and fast in his own right. We'll see, though. I mean, I don't think he's going to lead the entire race. At some point, a guy like Byron, Blaney, Busch, Larson, Chastain, they'll get there. So we'll just see how long it takes for that to happen. But if Joey can pretty much dominate the first stage, he's in a really good position, assuming he doesn't screw up throughout the race. And he's got the first pit stall, so it'll always be to his benefit. Mr. Guy says, when boating 3 max, how similar do you make your entries? So some weeks I'll go very similar and just change like the Dominators, or some weeks I'll change the Dominators and keep the mid-range plays. This is one of those weeks where I feel like the mid-range plays are the ones I'd be kind of keeping and then switching around the Dominators. If that makes sense. Like I like in the mid-range, I love Reddick, Harvick, Suarez. Probably just be like switching the Dominators in and out really. Because the Doms haven't really separated themselves this week for me. I mean, yes, I like Larson the most in Chastain, but at the same time, I mean, Busch could smash easily. Logano could smash. Hamlin could surprise us, even though he wasn't that great in practice. Blaney. So probably just mixing and matching the Dominators and being heavier on some of the mid-range plays that I feel pretty comfortable with. Blaney and Byron together in a lineup. I'm okay with it. It never feels great doing that, but I think it's okay at their price points on FanDuel. As of right now, that's my highest priced lineup has both of those guys in though. Any groups in the optimizer today? Asked Nick Papagiorgio. You can make a Dominator group, I think, putting at least 2. And if you're wondering what that Dominator group would be, let me sort this by qualifying order. So probably put Logano in there, obviously. Byron, Blaney, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Chastain. I guess Bell, Bowman, Hamlin. Probably quit right there. Probably at least 2 of those guys. What's up, Avery? Almirola, Dinger, or Haley? I would go with Almirola there. I like Almirola today. Fast in practice, and I think one of the better leverage plays on the slate. Can I name 2 cash drivers? Asked PJ. Yeah, Suarez and Burton. Or Reddick and Burton would be the first 2 I'd mention. I like Suarez too. Mass says, see Pat, what's up, Mass? I'm out here hand-boating with no power. Oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. I forgot, you were in the area with all the storms and stuff. So hopefully all's going well there. No power sucks. Not sure how you made it on here. Must have had a backup battery, but wish you the best. Wish you the best. Chris Bain says, difference between cash games and tournaments. Are tournaments with more players on DraftKings? Good question for anyone new here. Cash games, double ups, 50-50s, head-to-heads, things like that, where the payout's the same. So say there's like 1,000 people, it pays out 400 something. For all those 400 some people, you're getting paid out the same whether you finish first or 400. In tournaments, the sliding scale between finishing first and 400th is extremely different. So in cash games, you're just playing the plays everyone else is playing for the most part. You're not trying to get smart. You're trying to build a nice high floor, safe lineup where if a guy wrecks, it's not going to kill you. Like if Reddick wrecks today and finishes dead last in cash games, it's not going to matter. He's going to be so high owned. In tournaments, though, that's going to matter. That's where you're trying to get different. You want those low-end guys that are going to pop off and separate yourself so you can finish higher in the leaderboards. Yeah, I mean, Mass is... I don't know how he hands builds 150, but he does it. He's a different animal. What's your gut? Tell me about LaJoy. I don't like LaJoy today. He's just starting... Where's he at again? Yeah, 19th. He's cheap, sure. But it's just tough to get there, in my opinion. I'm not sure he's going to repeat last week. We'll see, though. If Burton wasn't starting that far back, we'd probably see LaJoy pop up in the optimal a little bit more. But, I mean, Burton's just such an easy play back there. Dave Palma says, thanks to Big Day at Gulfstream yesterday, I have an extra $500 to play today. What contest do you recommend the most? That's awesome, Dave Palma. $500. Well, I'd probably throw a decent chunk of that in cash, but if you're just a tournament player, I think the spotter wouldn't be a bad one for it. I don't know how many lineups you want to play. I guess that would depend on it. Like if you want to play more lineups, you could enter the lug and try to get as much possible in there, but I'd probably try to find some 3 maxes or something like that to get into 5 maxes. Obi says, no Recce love? Not really. I'd rather play Busher. I'd rather play Almirola in that price range, so probably going to pass on Rick. Although I like Ricky's paint scheme this week. Isn't it like Coca-Cola or something? I think it's the red car. I didn't see much of him on the track yesterday, but I think it looked cool if I remember right. He says, yes, I was. I passed out the psychiatric portion of today's schedule. Oh, awesome. Well, hey, hopefully not. Hopefully not, but you're right about that. Only psychos watch and enjoy cars going in circles 200 times. But I wish you the best of luck and awesome on passing. Awesome on passing. Tim says, Almirola and Chastain or Busch and Burton. Ooh, I like that first one better for tournaments. Ryan says, how about Austin Hill yesterday? 2 for 3. I was trying to watch some of the Xfinity race. I just want to see if Kyle Busch could go 2 for 2. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But yeah, I saw Austin Hill, I think, passed Chandler Smith at the end, if I remember correctly. I was doing the cup stuff during it, but I was listening. I think that's what happened. Eric says, see Pennell, the GOAT. Back at you, Eric. You're also the GOAT. Matthew says, is 1,600 too much cash left over? It doesn't seem like it's a great week to do that. I'm going to build a quick 150 here in the opto and see what the least amount of salary used is, though. And we'll see. I'll get back to that in a second. Zachary says, building 20 laps, what drivers would you take out of your pool? Probably the scrubs to start off with. I don't think I'd play. Let me see. He's got some of the worst leverage here. I mean, I'm probably not playing Gibbs, LaJoy, Cindric, those kind of guys. But I mean, I'm not really crossing too many guys off my list besides scrubs today. Jeffrey says, Blaney, Byron, Bubba, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, and Busher. Definitely a tournament build there, so it's not going to be chalky whatsoever. I mean, Blaney and Byron will have some ownership just because they're dominators, but outside of that, you're not getting too crazy on ownership. Nate says, 2 dom, yeah, you're going to want at least 2 doms in your lineups today. Cal says, my guy, are we going to see a winning Browns season again in our lifetime? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. I mean, they have so much potential, and there's nothing ever happens, so it's hard to ever get excited about them these days, unfortunately. All right, so I got 150 to build. Minimum salary used was 47,800. So what is that, 2,200 on the table? So yeah, I guess 1,600 is fine. It's actually more than I thought it would be. But I mean, because you can build like a Byron, Bowman, and then go down from there. So yeah, you can certainly leave some money on the table today. What's up, Jared? Happy race day to everyone. Enjoy the race. Let's win some money. Let's do it. Let's do it. Cody says, who do you like in the 6K range? I like Almirola a lot today. I like Chris Buescher. That's really about it. Almirola and Buescher. Hockey says, Hamlin or Bell or Harvick or Bowman. I can only take one. Oh boy. Take one of them. I mean, projection wise, it'll be Denny Hamlin out of all those guys. I don't think anyone's really asked about Hamlin today. I think he's going to be kind of sneaky. He's really good at Vegas, so. What's up, Rick? Don't be watching my... Oh, I got you talking to someone else. Haley or Dinger DraftKings GPPs. I'm probably going to go with Haley there just to get some extra place differential. Kyle says, Priest or Briscoe DraftKings tournaments. I mean, Priest will be higher owned, but I'm just going to take Priest there. Obi says, Elliott out. He sure is. No Chase Elliott today or for probably the next month or so. I mean, he broke his leg, tibia, a snowboarding accident. So Josh Berry's going to be filling in. It's unfortunate. NASCAR loses their most popular driver. It is what it is, though. Pugsley says, have you ever thought about doing a race meetup at a NASCAR race for those in the chat who would go? Seems like a cool idea for some of us all to meet. It would be fun. I'm just not sure how I would do like the streams and stuff because I need my PC. Can't really take that. My laptop kind of, so I need a new laptop. I have a MacBook Pro from like 2016 in college. So that doesn't do much work anymore. It's starting to die on me. So I need my PC and desktop, so I'm not really sure how I'd be able to go to a race, unfortunately. Now, I might be able to go in the football season because I don't do the live streams, so I might be able to go if I went to like a Homestead, Miami or something like that because I'm pretty close to Homestead. But we'll see. It'd be fun, though. It certainly would. Jared says, Larson, Logano, Reddick, Bowman, Haley, Burton for GPP. Yeah, I mean, it's decently chalky, but I mean, Bowman's a nice pivot. Everything else is pretty chalky, but I think that looks fine. I mean, it's a good lineup. Grady Flick says, have quite a few lineups on FanDuel at 500, 800 left on the table. good or bad, I think that's fine. I mean, you can start leaving money on the table on FanDuel. If I can pull up the site right now, and I mean, I can probably make a good lineup with a couple $1,000s on the table over on FanDuel. So I just saw FanDuel put spring training baseball contest up. I hate how they do it though. It's like MVP and double MVP or something like that. All right, so let's just try to leave some money on the table on FanDuel and see how good it looks. So we can make our first guy Ryan Blaney. We could use William Byron. For the top two, we can throw in Reddick, throw in Bubba, and then throw in Suarez, and that leaves 5K on the table. I don't think that's a terrible looking lineup. So, yeah, I guess salary isn't really a thing on FanDuel today. Aaron says Kyle Busch won the Truck Series race Friday. Hope he doesn't rank out today. Yeah, hope not. Yeah, he killed in the Truck Series. I mean, wasn't even close. I did not do that in the Xfinity Series though. Whenever I was looking, he was kind of just running in fourth all day. It seemed like. Hockey says no 10K drivers for me today. I can't say I'm doing the same, but I'd wish you luck. But that would mean I'm wishing myself not luck. So I'll just stay even on that. Justin Butler says Bowman, Bell, Larson, AJ Suarez, or Priest. Oh, I mean, it's all in the lineup. So you have user Dominators, Larson. I guess Bell's kind of a hybrid there. Bowman, AJ Suarez. That's fine lineup. I'm alright with that in tournaments. See, Austin says, is Kess playable here? If Kess was not starting in the top 10, I'd have more interest, but starting in 7th is really rough. I mean, I think he can run well, but I think a good day for Keselowski would be more like a 10th or 12th place finish, which is just not getting the job done at nearly 8K. Starting in 7th, I mean, I am projected for like 25 points. And if I look at his heat map, for Keselowski to really hit value, like in the mid-30s, he'd have to finish 7th or 8th, really, which is kind of tough. I mean, if you want to play him, you can. Just it's going to be risky. Hockey Freak Sean says, I don't feel Busch or Larson or Chastain dominating today. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I do think Larson and Chastain have some really good cars, though. Dwayne says, Harvick was out late at the UFC fights, Chris, just FYI. That's a good point. He's an old man, so, I mean, we'll have to see how much rest he got. He could be tired and cranky today, so if he sucks today, maybe that's why. It's a good point, though. SS says, Ross used Busch as a ramp at the Texas All-Star race. I don't remember that at all. I mean, I believe you, I just don't remember it. Dwayne, oh, I read that one. Ernest says, what does chalky mean? It means like high-owned plays, like Reddick. He's probably going to be around 40% today. It's really chalky. Austin says Stenhouse was there also. Oh, gosh. A tired Stenhouse driving does not sound fun. Jay-Z Gaming says, Harvick or Bowman for tournaments? Harvick for me. Marshall says, very close number. I like both a lot. Marshall says, Busch, Larson, Logano, Priest, Burton, and Gillen, GPP. Oh, it's not bad. I don't love those 3 10K builds, though, that much. Just having Burton and Gillen seems a bit much. I mean, I feel like one of them will probably bust, one of your 10K drivers. I feel like I'd want to limit them to 2. So it's personal preference. Because if you moved one of those 10K guys to just one of them, like the 9K guys or something like that, I mean, it would look a lot better getting it from Gilland. You could probably fit in like an Almirola instead. Convicted says, good luck, everyone. I won one of the contests last week. Going for number 2. Oh, yeah. Congrats to you, Convicted. Congrats. You're welcome, Obi. Eric says, thanks for the great content as always. Just jumped on. 2 dom race. Appreciate that, Eric. Yeah, pretty much 2 dominators per lineup. I mean, you can start at the 3 for one of the cheaper ones. But I don't like the 3 10K drivers of top dom builds that much. Parker says, what do you have Priest projected at? I'm not falling on him, and I'm afraid he will be good chalk. Let's see what I got. So I have Priest today at a 21.49 projected finish. which equates to 32.64 DraftKings points. That's 4.53x value. And I got him low to mid 20s in ownership today. I think he lands on a popular cash game build today as well. De Palma says, how much Barry? I'm not going to play too much Barry today. I'm just a little bit worried about the inexperience in the next gen car. And it's not like he was fast in practice or anything yesterday. I mean, I don't think he's going to be fringe top 30, but I think the Vegas odds on him were absolutely insane. When it opened, he was at plus 2,000, which was on par with guys like Kevin Harvick, Alex Bowman. Insanity. Better than Daniel Suarez. And then after practice and qualifying, he was still at plus 4,000, which was on par with Kevin Harvick still. I'm like, why do they like Josh Berry so much? But yeah, I'm probably not going to have much Berry. I mean, maybe if he filters in some lineups, sure, but I'm not on my way to play him. Does concern me a little bit. I know he's in a great car, but Dwayne says, Chris, Hamlin, Logano, Larson, Dinger, Burton, Gregson, DraftKings GPs. I know I'm fading a lot of chalk here. I mean, yeah, if it's a tournament, it's fine. I just don't love the three cheap guys, but I guess Dinger and Gregson aren't terrible, so it's fine. It's fine. Eddie says, do NBA, MLB, NFL, just getting the NASCAR? Well, glad you're here, Eddie. Got the wife talked into letting me put the couch in the yard on Sundays. That's awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. There's no dumb questions here. I'll answer just about anything. But also looking forward to baseball. We got that coming soon. DSV says, Chastain and cash games? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If you're using Joey as your first Dominator, I don't mind getting to like a Larson, Busch, or Chastain as my second Dom. Contra says, how can I enter 3 entries at once on DraftKings? No way you guys enter 150 times. Well, you can reserve like any amount of lineups you want. Like you can just type the number in, like 34 or 68, 150. If you're hand entering that, that'd be brutal. Big Gritter says, would you consider Bowman a Dom today? Hybrid Dom. Like more so, I'm playing Bowman more so as a finishing position guy, but he could also tick off some fast laps and potentially get up front. Just not the most likely candidate for it. For top Dom percentage on Bowman, I believe I have him at, oh, where's he at? 6.7%, which in reference, Logano's first at 15.5% to be the top Dom today. Larson's second at 13.5. Where is... Oh. What's up, Reaper? Morning, C-Pen. Let's do this, bro. Let's do it, Reaper. Yeah, CSV, upload. I mean, I'm certainly not building 150 lineups myself by my hand. What's up, Aaron? Hey, Chris. Happy race day. Sorry I just made it in. No problem. Don't have to apologize. Don't have to apologize. Carmi says, single lineup. I have the 11, 1, 21, 99, 17, and the 12. What do you think? I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I like Hamlin. I like Chastain. I like Burton. I like Suarez. Busher and Blaney. Yeah, that's a fine lineup for tournaments for sure. Philip says, Busher or Keselowski? I would take Busher there. I mean, you'd think they'd finish somewhat similar. Keselowski predict a little bit better, finishing a little bit better, not projection-wise, but I do like Busher more with the place differential. And Busher was pretty good in practice, too. Mundo's World says, any thoughts on Gilliland? Besides Burton down there, he's probably my favorite pump play, besides Burton. So I don't mind Gilliland starting in 28th. How much money would you leave in cash games today? Not a lot. My favorite cash game lineup has 0 left. Pete says, Barry was struggling to control the 8 car last night. Will the 9s seem harder or easier to handle? Surely dumbest question of all time. Not a dumb question. I don't know. I mean, he's got like no experience in the next gen car. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, he was kind of just getting laps in practice, and he was not fast. So we'll see. I have concerns with the lack of track time. Like, yeah, great car, sure, in the 9, but you know, we'll see. Lack of experience can definitely be something to worry about. Gregson, geez, I don't know. I'm just not too high on Gregson today. Let me see what my Sims have him at. Yeah, I'm at 8.5% optimal. No Gregson today, which is it's all right. It's not great though. I'd rather play him over Gibbs today though, if that says anything. Philip says, oh, sorry, I missed a couple plays. NC Design Concepts says, who's your pick to win today? I'd go with Larson. I think Larson and Chastain had decent odds last night when I looked on FanDuel Sportsbook. I think Chastain was plus 1,000, Larson was plus 850. I like the value on those two. How many Doms you trying to pair together today? At least two. At least two. Philip says Logano, Byron, Busch, Truex, Keselowski, Gibbs. I mean, it's definitely a tournament lineup, that's for sure. But if you're going for low ownership, it's fine. Keselowski should be pretty low owned. Ty Gibbs will be pretty low owned for where he's starting. So, Anders says, any left for Cindric today? Still owned? Yeah, I'm not going to play Cindric today. I actually took his unders, so I'm anti-Cindric today. We'll see how he rolls, but I know Penske typically runs pretty well here, but he's just starting in 9th, which makes it a little bit tough. Yeah, Suarez will definitely be chalky today. Could be one of the higher owned drivers. Starting in 24th, fast last week, in a Trackhouse car. Price seems a little bit too low. So, how many people we got in here? 364, awesome. Appreciate y'all being here on your Sunday afternoon. The race is until like what, 3:50 today, so we got a while. We got a while. If you call Harvick old man, I'm gonna quit the wrench. I mean, come on, coach. It's true. He's old. What is he, 47? Right? 47? Yeah, 47. I mean, it's getting up there. Corey says, are we stacking the back on FanDuel? No, not really. Not one of those days. Like, I like Raddick, sure, but I'm not really stacking the back on FanDuel. I mean, you're going to want those guys that finished near the front today in FanDuel. Theo says 145 likes, over 300. Only takes a second to click that. Yeah. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you're just now getting here. Something small, but it does go a long way. So my mom's here. Hi, bud. I want to take a quick second to say hi while I'm at work. Happy race to everyone. Let's go Logano. Good luck, all you NASCAR fans. I don't mind some Logano today, so I'll root for him with you. Although I would prefer some other guys to dominate over Joey today. But I wouldn't be too opposed to him doing well. Philip says, Gibbs or Gregson? I would go with Gregson there. Kyle says, any take on Eric Jones? Yeah, that's a weird one this week because I just feel like we haven't talked about Eric Jones at all. And he's usually someone we do talk about quite a bit. But starting mid-pack here, $700. Wasn't super impressive in practice. I'm just not super excited about him. I'm only showing around a 8.4% optimal rate. So, I don't know. Not like in love with Eric Jones today. Doesn't stand out to me too much. It's pretty underwhelming last week as well. Yeah, no problem, Marshall. What about Josh Berry? I mean, he's in the Hendrick camp, Junior Motorsports. He's filling in for Chase Elliott today. Just really has no experience in the next-gen car. I'm not really excited about it. Aaron says, I think I'm going to stay away from the chalk Reddick. I mean, there's certainly a lot of pivots you can go with. I wouldn't be too opposed to that. I mean, you have Harvick there. You have Byron, Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman. All similar price points. Aaron says, do you think Byron's speed in practice and qualifying translates to the race today? I'm nervous playing more than about 20% of him starting in second. I'm right there with you. Byron's one of those guys where every time I like him, the speed is there. It's just, I don't know. During the race, something happens to him. I'm not sure what it is. He'll fall off at some point. But we didn't really see that last year in Vegas, and he's really fast. And I would not be surprised if he could take the lead over Joey Logano early on. So I'm going to play over 20% Byron today. I think he's a great play over on FanDuel. I think he's 10-5 over there. Really easy to fit him in. And Dominator points out that important anyway. You're just hoping for good finishes, which is something I think Byron can do. So I like Byron today. I'll roll the dice with him, but he is someone that burns me a lot. A lot. He was fine last week for a while. Then at the end of the race, starts fading off. Has a penalty. Just screws his day. It was unfortunate, but he was crushing. No Truex left today. I mean, he's just one of those guys where he's just, it's like, every time I look at him, it's like, I don't know. I don't hate him, but I don't love him either. 25th in practice, 20th in the 10 lap, 25th in the 5. We know he's good at Vegas. No doubt about that. But the price is nice. I will give him that. Starting in 15th. I just worry about some of the speed from Toyota. They just weren't that impressive. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be a 25th place car, but I'm just not sure he's going to be able to dominate over the likes of guys like Blaney. I think Hamlin will be faster. You got Bell in front of him and William Byron. So not in love with Truex. I got him projected for low 40s, so it's not like it's terrible. But I do think there's better plays. Truex always seems to do really well, though, when like no one wants to play him. So he'll probably just go up front and dominate. Mundo says, Bowman or Reddick for the last lineup spot. I would go with Reddick. Mastermind says, Logano, Byron, Hamlin, Buescher, Dinger, McDowell. For cash? I wouldn't do that in cash. That's a really low lineup for cash. It's a tournament lineup, but I wouldn't do it in cash. Briscoe or Buescher? I would go with Buescher there. I think he'll have a little bit more speed. How do you feel about Haley? Nothing special about Haley, but he's starting to the back. He can probably gain 5-ish spots, which is not bad at his price. Carmen says, thanks, bud, for answering questions. Helps us all. Yeah. It's the only reason I do these live streams is hang out with you guys and answer questions. So you guys make it what it is. I do appreciate everyone interacting every single week. I mean, there's always a ton of questions, and we can easily go 2 hours every single week doing this because you guys are never short on questions, that's for sure, which is totally fine. Doug says, are you still doing this cheat sheet? Oh, yeah, I think I accidentally hid that. I will get that up in a little bit. You mean like on the Patreon? I'll do that, yeah. Corey says, are we stacking the back on FanDuel? Oh, I already answered that. Scar says, I understand most of the other terminology, but does chalk or being chalky mean? Chalky just means like high-owned drivers. DD says, a 6 Dominator is too... Well, it's just not possible. It's just not possible. I'd love to play 6 Doms. I'd love to, but you just can't. Steven says, is stacking Larson, Logano, and Byron too much of a risk in tournaments? That's not crazy. I mean, Byron's pretty cheap. If Byron was like 10K, I would say that's probably a bit much. But at his price point, you can get away with it. Just not in love with using Logano and Byron together, but we'll see. Corey says, is he reading chat questions or Discord? Just YouTube, but I'm way behind. I answer every single question here, so I'm always a little bit delayed. Atheist says, Buescher, Reddick, or Truex, Umbrella, DraftKings GVP with 14,000 entrants. Oh boy. Truex, Umbrella, or Buescher and Reddick. I'm probably going to go Buescher and Reddick there. Yeah, chalky just means high-end plays. Cal says, does Harrison Burton in a backup car worry you at all? No. I mean, it's a backup car from Penske. It's fine. It's going to be better than all the other scrubs back there. Castle's starting a little bit too high for me. I mean, for him to hit value, he's going to have to finish around 7th to 8th to feel good about it. So, it's just an uphill battle for Kess today to work out. Luke says, how many Doms would you have in your cash lineup? Probably 2. Timothy says, I have shoes older than 47 years old. Oh my. There's some old shoes. King says, who's your sneaky play? I like Bubba in tournaments today. Bubba, Byron, Bowman. Those guys are the ones that are popping up in tournaments for me. Busher, Almirola. Alan says Logano, Byron, Blaney, 2 near the front for the same lineup. Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love it. Oh, DD. I'm not gonna read it out loud anyway. Aaron says Trackhouse Racing for the win. Yeah, I like Trackhouse today. Right there with you. They should bring. I mean, they've had speed intermediates since last season, and Ross's pit crew's been great. I mean, it helps them get up front and maintain spots. So, Liker says, can you please give me a basic roster construction strategy? I'm still new NASCAR DFS and not sure any efficient roster construction. It's going to change every single week. For this week, 1.5 mile track with regular qualifying. It's pretty much 2 DOMs per lineup, and you're not going to try to go too crazy on place differential. Like, for example, today, I have no idea if this fits. I'm just rattling it off. So a decent roster construction would be like Kyle Larson with Ryan Blaney. You get 2 DOMs there. And then you throw in some mid-range guys like a Tyler Reddick and like a Daniel Suarez, maybe throw in a Busher and a Harrison Burt. I don't know if that fits, but if it does, that's a decent roster construction kind of build. Like 2 guys from up top, 2-ish in the middle, 1 to 2 down low, something like that. Do I have a favorite team owner at Vegas? Like picking teams today for fantasy? I mean, probably Hendrick. I think Hendrick will do well today. Byron's fast. Larson's fast. We'll see how Bowman does. Obviously, Chase Elliott's dead, but I think they'll bring speed. What's up, Andy? I see you made it. Glad you can make it in. What's up, Big T? Just made it in. Who's your favorite today? Probably Larson to win the race, if that's what you mean. Luke says, Briscoe and Suarez or Busch and Stenhouse for cash? Ooh. I mean, probably Busch and Stenhouse there, but I don't know when to play Stenhouse and cash. Aaron says, can we stack colleague racing guys as a correlate? Dylan, Dinger. Well, I mean, Dylan's on RCR. But, I mean, you can stack them. They both had similar speeds in practice. Haley was 16th in the 5 lap. Allmendinger was 10th in the 5 lap. So, I mean, it looks like they have somewhat decent speed. But at the same time, the Toyotas were just really bad in practice. I think they improve upon that. So, I mean, yes, they're better in practice, but I feel like they're not going to be that good. I think Truex will outrun them. I think Hamlin's going to outrun those kind of guys, even though some were faster in practice. But, I mean, it's fine. I mean, I think if one collie card does well, we'll probably see that one run fine too. MG says, how much Burton is too much? I feel like 100%. Yeah, 100% might be a bit much. Because there's pivots down there. I mean, they're not great pivots, but Justin Haley is a few hundred more. Todd Gillen's down there. Joy, Dinger. So I wouldn't go too crazy on Burton. Yeah, a great projection play, sure. But, you know, the variance with NASCAR. What happened yesterday was he hit like an Xfinity lug nut on the track. I mean, imagine that happened during the race. We lose one of our drivers because they run over a lug nut from the Xfinity race. I mean, that would just suck. What's my prediction for the win? Larson, if I had to pick a guy. Larson would be my guy. It's really close up top, though. I mean, Byron's super fast. Logano's fast. Chastain, Blaney, all those guys. Yeah, better late than never, Andy. That's for sure. Wallace or Suarez on FanDuel. Let me check. It's got to be close in projections. So I got Suarez a few points higher than Bubba, so I go with Suarez there. Snowy says, what's max ownership do you think I should carry on any one driver for a 20 max? If it's a 20 max, I'll tighten my core a bit, so probably like 60%. 60, 65 on my favorite driver. Eric says, what happened with your podcast on Spotify? I have a podcast on Spotify? Do I? Oh, you know what? I think I made a Spotify account for my YouTube during COVID, if I remember right. during COVID. I think I posted like once and twice on there, then I forgot about it. So yeah, I don't, unless stuff's getting uploaded every single week or something. I don't know. It's not me doing it. I forgot about that. That's a very distant memory. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, I posted one episode in 2020 during COVID, and then I think I forgot about it. I think I was just testing it out. That's funny. I mean, it's not hard for me to upload it if people actually want that, but I don't want to spread out where people come to watch my stuff too much, you know? Seen lots of people going BJ to get in studs. Are you liking that way for tournaments? Who is saying that, Tito? That's crazy. No, I'm not playing BJ. Absolutely not. Almirola play? Yeah, I like Almirola today. Actually, one of the better tournament plays in my opinion. King says, hey Chris, who are your top 2 drivers for DOMs? I mean, Logano's in the easiest spot to dominate, but then I like Larson and Ross Chastain a lot. Mad Dog says, Blaney, Bowman, Buescher, Burton, Harvick, and Larson in tournaments. What do you think? Looks fine to me. I like the Blaney pivot. Bowman, Buescher. Yeah, I like that a lot in tournaments. That's fine. Harvick and, not Harvick, Larson and Blaney's your DOMs. Matthew says, I know you're not in love with Logano and Byron together, but what about Byron and Blaney? It's better. It's better. I'm still not in love with it, but I think it feels a little bit better than Logano and Byron together. I just feel like I want to roster like one of the top 3 drivers with like a Larson or Chastain instead. Because, you know, after those guys up front lead, I think that's when those other guys come towards the front more. No problem, Corey. Blaine, not blanket. C. Austin says, they won't let me put Andy in timeout. Keep trying, C. Austin. Keep trying. We gotta punish him for being late. Chris says, Cash, Larson, Chastain, Reddick, Burton, Ty Dillon, and Byron. Who I'm probably not gonna play Ty Dillon and Cash personally. I'd have a hard time trusting that car. I think you only need 2 DOMs in Cash as well. Fantasy Stock Watch and Updates. Says Austin Dillon gonna finish top 10? We'll see. I mean, his car was not fast in practice. I mean, I think they'll improve a bit, but 31st, 30th, and the 1 in 5 lap, then 22nd and the 10. I don't know. Doesn't seem like he's got the fastest car this week. And he says, geez, they give wrenches to anybody these days? I had to. I had an absentee in wrenches. I got on the stream. Rob says, Logano, Suarez, or Larson, Buescher, and Cash. I'll go Logano, Suarez there. I think that'll be the higher owned of the 2. If you're in tournaments, though, I would say Larson and Buescher. Boldy in the Ope says, lineup does fit, leave 700 on the table. Oh, not bad for just rattling off, eyeballing it. LTFU says, anyone cop the NASCAR Lego set? Looks sick. The NASCAR Lego set. What is that? I gotta look it up now. Okay, I see. Does look kind of cool, not gonna lie. Okay. Andrew says hi. Hi, Andrew. Burton from the back. I do like Burton from the back today. Parker says Elliott's dead. Figuratively. In theory, he's dead for DFS. Had Larson last week in a 5.55. He crashed me. Yeah, that wasn't fun, man. It's such a shame, too, because he had a fast car. He did. There's nothing he can do. That's one of those things, when you don't practice, stupid stuff like that can happen. I don't know if you guys remember at Talladega, I think it was, when Larson came out and something like, I think they left something over the engine and it just ended his race. That's what it reminded me of instantly. It's one of those things. Didi says, which is more likely to be optimal, 2 or 3 DOMs? I think if we see like a cheaper guy DOM, we'll get 3. But if it's like 2 expensive guys that lead the majority of the laps, that would be 2. It just depends on how many lead changes there's going to be, which at the intermediates, we've seen several lead changes happen a lot as far as dominators are concerned. How about fastest pit crew today? I'd love to know exactly who it's going to be. I mean, the fastest pit crew since last year, it's like been Harvick and Ross Chastain. I mean, they've been incredible. Like, going back to last year, just crew, not driver. Chastain, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick. Rick says, nothing better than eating breakfast at Mama's Cafe and watching the goats take from me. Appreciate that, Rick. And hopefully you're enjoying your, well, brunch where I'm at right now, but hopefully you're enjoying breakfast. How do I feel about Priest today? He's a fine place differential play. That's really about it. Nothing too special about him. Wumbo says, Larson, Logano, Reddick, Hamlin, Burton, cash on FanDuel. I'm not sure if I want to play Burton on FanDuel. It's just place differential is not as important over there. So I might try to go a little bit more balanced than that. Maybe just a little bit. Rumtime says, what do you think about having Busch, Chastain, and Logano in your lineup? I feel like it's a little too top heavy. Like, it's not like there's 500 laps today where there's so many dominant points to go around, so I feel like just two of them is probably fine. Tips for lineup construction this week. For what I would do, I would just pick 2 DOMs at the least and then build from there. Majority of my laps will be 2 DOM builds. 2.5. Like those hybrid guys like Bowman, Harvick, and kind of hybrid DOMs, you know what I mean? But outside of that, just kind of normal. Just go down the list and try to get balanced, I guess. Joe says, how much of a difference in roster construction do you use between large and small field tournaments? Consider cutoff for small, less than 50 lineups. So yeah, if I'm playing like 50 or less people or lineups. Okay, so if I'm like playing, I don't know, like a contest where there's like 40, 50 people in it, I try to get really cashy in my build. I'll like pivot one or two guys. But if I'm playing like with thousands of people, that's when I'm trying to just maybe 1 or 2 high-owned guys and then trying to get some pivots outside of there, because you got to get a lot more different depending on the field size. But if you're with, you know, a smaller amount of people, I mean, some people like to go wild and swing for the fences, but I really had success going nearly an all-cash build and making a pivot or two. That was answering your question. Nick says, Barry for cash. I'm not going to personally do that. I think he's a little bit too expensive. Choke Hold'em says, my guy, what's up? Perfect timing. Haven't got a... See up what's going on and running behind. Oh, no problem at all. What are some must-knows? Good luck, my friend. I mean, basically today, you're going to want probably 2 DOMs at the least. Larson, I think, looked like he had the best car in practice. William Byron's right there with him. Ross Chastain's great intermediates. And then, like, chalk down low, I mean, or place differential, I should say, Tyler Reddick, Harrison Burton, Ryan Preece. To answer your question, if you have anything specific, I'm more than happy to answer. Ty Dillon scares me. Yeah, I don't really want to play too much Ty Dillon today. It's tough to trust that car. Steve says, Steven, any thoughts on prize picks? Yeah, I got a lot of them in last night. Let me see if they changed. Harvick opened at 36.5 and he went straight to 38.5. I like that one a lot. All right, so looking at, let me see if any line movements happened. All right, so I had the under on Cindric at 27.5. He's now at 25. Anything else change? Everything else is pretty much the same. So I like the overs on Larson and Chastain. Chastain was at 45.5 and Larson was at 47. It just seems a bit low. I mean, I think they're pretty likely to get up front at some point, dominate, pick up fast laps. And then I believe I took the under on Keselowski at 31.5. And the over on Bubba at 29.5. Just a few I like, but I think I'm heaviest on the Larson over at 47.5. And I like Cindric at 27.5, but that's now gone down. So you kind of lost value there. And nothing else really stood out to me too much. I kind of like the props over an underdog better this week. MG says, I'm new to NASCAR DFS. Is Todd Gillen a good pick to win the race? No, he's not. He is not going to win. I'll promise you that. I mean, at Las Vegas, you're going to see a likely guy win. I mean, you're not going to see scrubs win. Like button for good luck? For sure. Matt says, can I get your Dom grouping again? Sure. So for my Dominator group, I would add Logano, Byron, Blaney, Busch, Larson, Chastain, Bell, Bowman, and Hamlin. That's probably who I guess you could throw Truex in there as well. At least, 10 guys? But at least 2. Big Gooder says you'll be stuck on 2 or 3 points playing guys like BJ. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's just not going to work out. Obi says thoughts on Keselowski. He's just starting really far up for me. If he was starting like 12th on back, I would like Keselowski. It's just tough starting in 7th. It really is. No problem, Matthew. How much Keselowski do I have? I haven't built yet, but I don't think I would have much at all, if any. If Keselowski wants to finish top 5 today and burn me, whatever. Like says, I've got Larson, Chastain, Logano, too much spin up top. I think so. I think you're kind of putting yourself in a bad situation down low. How's Kyle Busch looking? I'm not caught up. So he sucked in practice. I don't think he's going to be that bad during the race. I do like him today. I just don't like him as much as Larson or Chastain up top. But I will have Kyle Busch exposure. I'm not sure he's going to be as fast as those two. I mean, top 5 contender, sure. Race winning contender, yeah, of course. Would not be surprised if he dominates at some point. He killed the Vegas races last year. I just have a personal preference of Larson and Chastain above him. DH says Stenhouse or AJ. Whew. That's what I'm going to check the projections on, because that's got to be close. So I have Dinger just a little bit higher than Stenhouse. What's up, Spread? You made it. I'm glad you can make it. Still got about 360 people here. Appreciate y'all stopping by. We're almost at 200 likes. So we can get over 200 likes. I'd appreciate that. Just need a couple more. What's up, Doug? Morning, Chris. Thoughts on Logano, Chastain, Reddick, Priest, Burton, Suarez for cash? I like that a lot, Doug. I think that's going to be a pretty popular lineup today for cash games. It leaves $0 on the table, and it's pretty easy to build. So, yeah, I don't mind that at all. Diane says, what do you think about repeat trends from Daytona? Zane came second. If not for Busch, he'll take Xfinity. Does that mean Stenhouse for the win? I don't think so. If Stenhouse wins, I will give you full credit on that trend, but I don't think it's going to happen. This is one of those tracks where I think we're going to see one of the big dogs win. Logano, a good play for tournaments. I mean, he's a fine play today, but for tournaments, I think he's going to be pretty chalky. So it's hard to say a good tournament play, you know. And I actually have him for negative leverage. We got over 200 likes. It's awesome. Ricky says, confused about the Wallace love. He's in bad here now. See, track history isn't really something I really look at anymore, just because we have such little data and for track history in the next gen car. But Bubba Wallace killed Kansas, and I think he's going to be fine. I mean, we had a fast car in practice, and he's been good at the intermediates. Track history, it is what it is, I guess, but it's not really something I look at. I mean, I looked at the last 2 Vegas races, sure, because that's in the next gen car. But I mean, I think Wallace should have some speed today. And I'm not saying he's my favorite play on the slate, but I do like him as a pivot in that 8K range off some of the chalk. Thoughts on Gregson? I have him optimal around 8.5% of the time, so nothing too extravagant, but I'm okay with it as a pivot to some of the chalkier plays down low. But I'm in love with Gregson today. Theo says, well, rise and shine, Spread. Glad you can make. Yeah, me too. Me too. His guy John Jones won last night, though. So I'm sure he's happy about that. Is Christopher Bell in 3 to 4 lines for a 20 max enough? Yeah, it's fine. I'm not like in love with Bell today, but the price point's nice. He was actually popping up around, I think 15-20% in the optimal for me. What value player do you like today? I like Harrison Burton in the back. What about Gillen? Would you use him on DraftKings? He's fine. He's probably my favorite punt outside of Burton today, as far as like the really cheap drivers. Starting in 28th, he's got somewhat top 25 upside. Concha says, you and Egremont? I don't know. I don't know where that's at if you're talking to me. But no, I mean, no, I'm not in Egremont. Levi says, Priest or Allmendinger? I would go with Priest there. Izzy says, Burton is 3K, not a bad play at that tag. No, it's just on FanDuel, I try to stay away from some of those really cheap drivers because, you know, place differential isn't as important over there. So they're not going to project the same like they will in DraftKings. I'm not saying he's a terrible play. It's just he's not really popping in optimals for me. Steve says, Harvick or Reddick in GPP? Oh, well, if it's tournament, look, Reddick's the better projection play, but I do like to pivot to Harvick there. I mean, Harvick's got legit top 8 upside. Reddick could certainly struggle. I mean, he could be like a top 20-ish guy today, and if he does, I mean, and Harvick's running near the top 5, I'd rather have Harvick in that situation. Crick says 5K left on the table on FanDuel, too much for GPP. Might be a no, because earlier when we built that FanDuel lineup, 5K left did not look too bad, so I think that's all right. Pricing doesn't really matter much on FanDuel today, I've noticed. Do you have today's ownership projection? I have them on my sheet, yeah. Harvick or Bowman, GPP last driver. I would go with Harvick there. Luke says Larson and Blaney or Logano and Chastain for my 2 Doms. Ooh. If it's tournaments, Larson and Blaney. If it's cash, Logano and Chastain. Albert says, got a hit and run today? No problem at all. How does Busch, Logano, Reddick, Priest, Haley, and Burton look for cash? Thanks for the video and good luck. Thank you, sir. It doesn't look bad. Yeah, it looks fine to me. I'm not quite getting to Haley and Burton for cash gains, but it's not the worst thing you could do. What's up, Sarah from Mississippi? What model car do you like for this race? I mean, in general, I like Hendrick. I think the Chevys will be strong. But at the same time, I like Logano and Blaney. So Fords and Chevys look good. We'll see how Toyotas do, but I think they're probably going to be last on the pecking order today. Harvick or Austin Dillon in cash? I would go with Harvick. Joe says, any difference in your roster construction for qualifier or satellite tournaments where there's no payout other than for first place? Yeah, if you're playing satellites, depending on the field size, you kind of got to get a little nuts there. You should really take some risk because, I mean, you can't risk time with people, and you got to just take first. So that's when you kind of get nuts. I hate those kind of contests, though. David says, what is the ownership on Bell? Let's look. I am going to do an ownership update after this live stream, so, I mean, some of these numbers might change a little bit. But I got Bell sitting at, like, mid-teens for ownership today. A little bit, 15%. Highest owned driver you would fade? Highest owned driver I would fade. Let me see. Maybe like an Austin Dillon type. Like, I'm getting negative leverage on both Busch and Logano today, but I don't want to completely fade those guys. But I don't mind being underweight. But like Austin Dillon's a guy I don't mind being underweight on. Didi says Larson's giving me Kyle Busch vibes from last year. Best play on paper every week and ends up killing my lineups. It's possible. I mean, it is what it is if guys have issues, but you know, it's just the first race. We only had one real race this year, and yeah, I know he had the electrical issue, but no practice. And he came back out on the track and he was really fast. So assuming that doesn't happen again this week, you'd assume he'd be fine. But we'll see. It's early on. Wumbo says Logano, Larson, Reddick, Almirola, and Byron for tournaments on FanDuel. Doesn't look bad to me. I'm fine with that. You can make some really nice lineups over on FanDuel today. Yep, hit that like button for sure. Hit that like button. Chances that Austin and Stenhouse are in the optimal lineup. Austin Dillon, Austin Cindric. Either way, probably low that both are in the optimal. The stages, what is it, like 80 something, and like 100 at the end, something like that. I forget the exact number. How much you like your boy Blaney today? I like him. Let's see, Sim Scores had him around 25% optimal. So, probably around there. Do you like having Joey and Blaney in the same lineup? Think they could be optimal together? I like Joey and Blaney together more than I like Joey and Byron together. Just a little bit more. But chances that both are optimal. I mean, I guess it would correlate well if both Penske cars did fine. But I'm not actively trying to pair them together. Justin Pope says Larson or Logano trying to decide for cash lineup. Oh, like for cash, I think I'd want to go Joey. I like Larson better overall, but I think Joey might be a little bit safer in cash just because he's in the pole and he's got the most likely path to leading laps today. I hate playing Joey on the pole. It never feels good. It never does. I'll be underweight in tournaments on Joey, I think. For tournaments, yeah. Bossa Nova says, who are you liking the most in the 7K range? I like Daniel Suarez a lot in the 7K range. Also like Ryan Preece is there as well. Larson wins today. What you think? I'm with you. I think Larson wins today. We'll see though. He'll probably blow a tire on lap 7 just to repeat. Is Reddick not chalk on FanDuel? Yeah, Reddick's going to be chalky over on FanDuel. Too cheap. No problem, Luke. No problem. Philip Newton says, you said you wouldn't run Joey, Logano, and Blaney. Well, I said I probably wouldn't run Joey and Byron much together in the same lineup. I think Joey and Blaney is a little bit better looking. I just think, starting 1-2, I mean, they're both going to have to lead laps and probably finish like from the 1 to 3 range, which it's going to be tough because you got guys like Larson. They're going to be coming up front. You have Kyle Busch. You have Ross Chastain. And they have some extra PD spots as well. Jake says, Busch, Chastain, Suarez, Wallace, Gibbs, and LaJoy. I mean, it's definitely going to be low owned having Wallace, Gibbs, and LaJoy together. That's for sure. I mean, Gibbs has a tough path this week. That's for sure. Best tournament options: Harvick, Bowman, Bubba, Chastain, Byron, those kind of guys I'm looking at for tournaments. Almirola down low, Chris Buescher. Can you tell me a good place differential group? I don't really have groups for place differential, but the main PD guys there are gonna be like Reddick, Preece, Suarez, Harrison Burton. I guess you can throw in Josh Berry in that group if you want. Izzy says someone's getting fired if Larson has an electrical issue today. Yeah, they better. We can't have that happen again. Zachary says Larson, Chastain, Harvick, Wallace, Almirola, Burton in tournaments. That looks pretty good. I like that. It's a good looking lineup. Any takers on Josh Berry filling in? I'm probably not going to have much of Josh Berry today. Just, I don't know. I feel like he's a little overpriced. Suarez or proceeding? I like Suarez. I mean, he's one of my more favorite plays on the slate. No, I can't imagine we'll have a competition caution. Weather's been great all weekend in Vegas. I am a DGen. Am I in the right place? I guess so. If you're playing NASCAR DFS, probably. Suarez or Preece? I would go with Suarez. Mumbo says, sorry, this is my third question of lineups, but I'm new to DFS. Don't have to apologize. Don't have to apologize. Chastain, Larson, Briscoe, Reddick, Suarez, FanDuel, Cash. Not bad. I don't know if I'm going to get the Briscoe and FanDuel cash, but I don't think it's a bad looking lineup. Barry a cinch to top 10. I don't think Barry's in the top 10 today, if that's what you're asking. Serpico, I got a case of beer and a carton of Camel. I hope you have a great evening. Izzy says, Cup race green, stages 80, 85, 102. Okay, I was pretty close on that then. Appreciate that, Izzy. Truex or Harvick? I will go, I think Truex might project a little bit better than Harvick. Let me check. Yeah, I got Truex at 41.49, Harvick at 41.09, so it's pretty close there. I like Harvick better overall, though. How do I feel about Buescher in tournaments? I like Buescher a lot in tournaments. Should have a fast car today. Starting in 18th, I think he can be a top 15 contender. EJ says, is fading Joey with 0% at 20 max a play? It's a play, all right. It's a little scary, though. Because if he leads the entire stage 1, you're kind of dead on arrival. So if you have no Joey, though, you need to be pretty heavy on guys like Byron and Blaney because someone's leading those laps in the beginning. So I don't think it'll be Ty Gibbs. Is the $44 on DraftKings more cash or GPP? Yeah, if it's anything that's not, if it's not like a double up or head-to-head, 50-50, yeah, I'd play it as a tournament. Brian says, just jumping in, thoughts on Suarez? I like Suarez today. Probably going to be chalky, but starting in the back-ish. I mean, it'd be pretty popular. Good place, differential play. You can play any Barry? Not much. I mean, he might sprinkle in here and there, but I'm not in love with Barry. Jim says, hi, Chris. How do you feel about Larson, Reddick, Burton, and AJ? And then play 2 9K players. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Matt says, is Jules okay? I heard glass break. Did you? I didn't hear glass break. Hopefully, though. Hopefully. Might be the bells. Oakley's got bells to ring when he's got to go outside. Just got back from seeing my local palm reader. She said, play BJ McLeod in every lineup. Should I ask for a refund or trust her? I'd probably ask for a refund. Probably would. AJ says, hey, Chris. What's up, AJ? What do you think of Truex on this track? Pretty good at Las Vegas. Just wasn't that fast in practice. Should be a top 10 contender, but I'm not sure if we'll dominate today. Any underdog picks you like? Yeah, the ones I like, though, the most have gone like in a good direction for me, meaning I got value, but the value's kind of lost on that. Like I had Bowman at 13.5. He's now at 11.5, vice versa. So I'm not in love with really any of the props left over on underdog. The value's kind of gone. Buescher or Almirola? I'll go with Buescher there. Burton is the biggest chalk this week. He's definitely going to be really chalky. That's for sure. Logan French says Truex to log out. Truex log out. All right, I caught up to the chat. Almost went 2 hours. Not quite. I do appreciate everyone being here. If you want all the extra stuff, links down below in the Patreon. If you want to join the Discord, certainly do that as well. I'm going to get out of here. I wish you all the best of luck. I forget where we're going next week, but looking forward to that. I'll see y'all next time, and see you.